For me, just about every Lent it happens. I'm out at a restaurant on a Friday, and I look through the menu, and I see it. Chicken Sinatra. Swimming in a pool of wine and lemon and butter with prosciutto layered on top. That's what I'm getting. And when the server comes up to take the order, I'll say Chicken Sinatra with extra prosciutto. And then someone at the table goes, "Wait a minute, isn't it Lent? Is it Friday?" If only the order could have already gone in, or if we could have already been eating it, and then we could have justified it by saying, well, it would be a sin to waste food. But as temptations go, that's actually an easy one, relatively speaking. For a lot of us, it's a lot harder when someone says something nasty and we've got the perfect comeback. To not use that comeback might be harder than changing to the eggplant. For a lot of us, it's harder when someone is awful to us to not shut them out of our lives, or as some would call it, ghost them. For a lot of us, that would be a harder temptation. A lot of us would have a hard time if we had a stressful day not using wine or drugs or online shopping to medicate ourselves. If any of us are in recovery from some sort of an addiction, there will always be the temptation to use any given day. And so each of these temptation moments, the ones that Jesus experienced, the ones that we experience, are an invitation to inject holiness into one moment of our lives, one circumstance that we're in. Jesus took a truly sinister moment and turned it into a holy moment. He took an interaction with the devil that was very dark and he flooded it with light. Imagine what a different life we would all have if in this story the devil scored a goal against Jesus. Can you imagine what a different faith this would be if every once in a while Jesus gave in to what was easy or convenient for the moment? And in doing this, he shows us the first skill that we need if we are going to live a life with holy moments. The first skill that we need is resistance. Resistance is often not something we should be doing in the spiritual life. Resistance is often a sign that we're out of touch. But we must develop the muscles to resist what is not good. Temptation always contains a choice within it. Are we going to act or are we going to hold back? Are we going to challenge this temptation or are we going to give in to it? That is the path to empowerment. It's not avoiding temptation, it's overcoming it. So Jesus could not have been human and not had a moment like the one we just heard about. There's no way to be a human being and not to wrestle with temptation. That's a given. And he shows us that we must, in a moment of temptation, remember who we are. We have to remember what it is that we most want to be. And we need to choose that over whatever's hanging out in front of us on the table or in the air between us and that other person. We are often going to be tempted to think that what's in front of us in the moment is more important than everything that came behind us. All the sacrifices of our ancestors for us to be where we are. All of the times that we didn't give in to earlier temptations. If we believe that this moment is one where I can, just this one time, that is when we're in a danger zone. You know the saying, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So Jesus is showing us we can't let the flesh sit in the driver's seat, or we will give in to that temptation. A lot of people have already decided what their Lenten goal is going to be. You may be one of them, or you may be troubled that you're still working to find it. But whatever it is, you need to expect temptation to be a part of it. If you are hoping to have more patience this Lent, to work on your impatience problem, you're asking for it. You know what's going to happen. Get ready for 40 days of lines at the grocery store, lines at the post office. Just wait to see how long it's going to take you to get to exit 18 from downtown. It'll be absurd. You'll be waiting 3 times at every light. And you'll wonder, what's going on? Why is this happening? Because you told God you wanted to work on patience. Whenever we ask for a virtue, what we get is a temptation that gives us the path to empowerment so that we can face something and engage our spirit to take over so that the flesh doesn't go on autopilot. We can grow in our virtues only one way, by having them tested in temptation. So we create holy moments through choices. There's no other way to have a holy moment than by choice. It's the choice we make in any moment. And one of the things that we hear is that there are consequences to our choices. That's what we're always trying to teach our young people at our school is every choice has a consequence. But one of the things we want to teach them, and we need to learn ourselves, is that positive choices have good consequences. When you do something positive, the outcome is good. A lot of times we think that choices having consequences only is about the negative things we do. But it's a universal law. Good choices have positive consequences. So the way Matthew Kelly in the book Holy Moments talks about it is, you don't want to have choices that are hard to live with. You want to make choices that are easy to live with. Choices that you look back on and smile. So this week, we are being given an opportunity to consider what is the area where I face the most temptation, and what do I need to do to fortify my spirit so that the flesh does not sit in the driver's seat? How do I eject the flesh from running the show so that my spirit can be in charge? And who knows what it is for you, but maybe it is that your home screen of your phone needs a picture of your family on it instead of a picture of Mount Kilimanjaro or whatever. Maybe you need to put a picture of your family on there so that you have more reminders of all that's behind you, of everything that's part of the choices that you're making. Maybe you need to have a picture of the Blessed Mother somewhere where she'll be looking at you when you're tempted. That's an old Catholic trick, but it works. You put a picture of the Blessed Mother near your temptation zone, it's going to be a lot harder. And that's what we want. Maybe you need to have a picture of your mentor, somebody that you look up to. If there was somebody from your past that you think of as just, I would be so ashamed for them to see me making a poor choice. Maybe that person's picture needs to be front and center in your life. Maybe you need to do what a lot of us have learned really is helpful. Sticky notes, wherever we most need them. The inside of the bathroom mirror is my favorite spot. Whatever message I really want to train myself in, I have to look at that message again and again. And when better than the first thing in the morning when the medicine cabinet is open? The task before us is the same task that was before Jesus in the desert. We have to remember who we are and stick with what we really most want to be instead of what's in front of us this moment. If what's in front of us is more important than all that's behind us, we're going to be in trouble. We can't let the flesh determine what our next move is going to be. The spirit is willing. The flesh is weak.